Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. The content of this video was sent to me by a viewer, and it arrived in an email headed Sugar Daddy Scams and Other Scams on the Whisper app. I've never heard of Whisper, and we've never had any Sugar Daddy scams on this channel. Hello, said my viewer. This is one of your viewers. I've actually been thinking that I should share my stories of engaging with scammers and wasting their time, since you occasionally invite viewers to share their stories of the scam that they've gone through. But there's been so many things that I've seen over the past few years that I'm not even sure where to begin. Whisper is a mobile app that is basically an anonymous social media platform. Unlike any other platform you care to name, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, it's designed for users to be anonymous. When you sign up for the app, you download it from the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you don't create an account with an email address and password. The account is associated with your device. If you delete and reinstall the app on your phone, you will recover your account. But if you get a new phone, or you restore your phone back to factory settings, you might not be able to recover your account. I can't remember offhand how you recover your account. And I could write an entire book about all of my experiences with scammers on the Whisper app. All of these scammers on that app are why I got interested in learning about scams and how they work. In fact, these scammers are the reason why I found various scam baiting channels, including yours. And there's more types of scams than the Sugar Daddy scam that I've encountered on that app. Some of these scams are variations of the 419 scam, where you have to pay a fee to supposedly receive some sort of payment. There is the federal grant scam. The way I've seen the scam works is that somebody claims to be from some sort of agency or organisation offering grant money to people, but they have to pay a fee in order to receive it. The reason why the scam works is because scammers are taking advantage of people's lack of knowledge about how grants work. Applying for a grant is a very long and complicated process, but the scammers make it seem like it's so easy. In addition, you never have to pay a fee to receive a grant. And also, grants are typically not awarded to individual people to use for whatever they want. Though an exception to that rule is awarding grants to individual people for higher education. Typically, a grant is awarded to organisations for specific purposes. The application process is long-winded and complex. I've even heard that some organisations have to hire outside help in order to apply for a grant properly. And any organisation that gives a grant to another organisation that they've concluded is worthy of the grant after going through the application process will regularly check in order to make sure that the money is being used for its intended purposes. Incidentally, added my viewer, I took a grant writing class, and it was very hard for me. Not to mention I was distracted by other stuff going on in my life. But I failed that class, and I found it hard to do the final project, where I fictitiously applied for a grant. So getting a grant is not easy at all. I've also seen charity scams, where a person claims to be from a charity, and they randomly message you to offer money, but you have to pay processing fees to receive the money. But any real charity is not going to randomly message people on anonymous social media apps to offer assistance. In the real world, charities only help people that reach out to them first and whom they've verified as meeting their requirements to receive assistance. And of course, I've seen Bitcoin scams, another variation of the 419 scam. They want you to buy Bitcoin and then send it to somebody in order to receive a large payout. And I've seen what seems to be a fake payment scam. Whenever I've posted on that app about credit card debt, I have occasionally received messages from people offering to pay off my debt. When I engaged with them further, they offered me the use of what they claim to be their bank account for the purposes of making the payment. This is how this game works. The victim uses the bank account information to make the payment, and it appears to go through. Then, the scammer asks them to use their credit card that's now been paid off to do some favours for them, such as purchasing gift cards, often with the promise of the credit card being paid off again after the fact. But then, the payments get reversed. Sometimes, the payment was made using a stolen bank account that the victim of the stolen bank account found out about and filed fraud claims with their banks. Other times, the bank account is fake, and about 3 business days later, the payment reverses. Using a fake bank account takes advantage of the fact that in the United States, there's not many widely available electronic payment systems that work in real time. There is the RTP network, which transfers payments in real time, but even though it was created by the big banks, its usage is still fairly limited. So, if you submit a payment, it takes at least one business day for the payment to clear. I'm going to add in here that in the UK, most electronic payments through banks these days are fairly instant. But what often happens, continued my viewer, is that if you submit the payment, the bank will credit the amount to your account as part of a gesture of good faith that the payment will clear. But if the payment bounces, then they will reverse the credit to your account, and you will still owe the debt that you owed before, plus any other money that you spent at the request of the scammer. And then I've seen escort scams. A scammer pretends to be an escort. They randomly message you, but they want some sort of upfront payment, whether it's a payment made through a mobile peer-to-peer payment app or through gift cards. Sometimes they say it's for a deposit before the so-called encounter happens. Sometimes they say it's to cover gasoline. Sometimes they say it's because they have a child and they want to purchase mobile games for their child to play so that the child doesn't interrupt the encounter. This scam does seem to be more believable than others because, based on statements I've seen on Reddit on communities for sex workers, it's common for sex workers and escorts to request money up front as a deposit, including money in the form of gift cards if they want something that's untraceable. But there is a way to know if it's a scam or not. That legitimate sex worker will never send an unsolicited message. The only exception is if they receive a referral from another fellow sex worker, or if they are using a known network of clients. Whisper is no such network. Otherwise, any sex worker that's using the internet to find clients will put themselves in a position where people can message them to request their services. And then I've seen employment scams. Among the scammer I've seen, they seem to be fake check scams. The victim is tricked into depositing a fake check into their account and forwarding the money, supposedly for work supplies. But then the check bounces and they have to repay the bank. This scam takes advantage of the fact that in the United States, federal laws require that money from checks be credited to your account within a few business days of the check being deposited. Under normal circumstances, however, the actual process of clearing a check can take weeks. Fake check scams are typically only seen in the US and Canada, since those are the only two Western countries that I'm aware of where check usage is still fairly common. I've never heard of scams like that targeting people in the UK or the EU or Australia. Some of these employment scams also seem to be money mule scams. Somebody tried to hire me for a position. They said that the requirement was that I have a Cash App account with Bitcoin enabled. I'm guessing that they wanted me to receive money from some nefarious source and then forward it on to somebody. Here is some more information about the sugar daddy scams specifically, and here are some more details about how the sugar daddy scam works. I can make a post about almost anything, like asking people what they want for Christmas, or something about politics, or something personal I'm feeling that I don't feel comfortable sharing if it can't be anonymous. It doesn't matter really, because scammers will often message you saying they want a sugar baby. These are some messages I've gotten. Hello, and a heart. Could you need someone caring for you, also helping you with any kind of your bills, and stand in support with you? I'm not here to fake anything with you. Give a try with me. Promise you won't regret meeting up with me. Interested? If yes, kindly add me up on any of my chatting platform for more conversation. And this scammer included a few of their handles. Hey! How about you need a sugar daddy to cater for you and your allowance is $5,000? You're the second person I'm sending this to. If you reply before the first person, you'll get your allowance immediately. I pay through Cash App and PayPal. Do not message if you have another sugar daddy you're talking to. Snapchat me up, baby. And a few more contact details. Hello, my name is Williams. Sorry for entering your DM without your permission. I just want to know if you're in need of a sugar daddy who promised to support and help you financially by paying off your bills and debts, and also giving you a weekly allowance of $5,000. If you're interested to be my sugar baby, say yes. If not, just say no and more contact details. As is typical of scammers, my viewer continued, they want you to message them on other platforms. Whenever I messaged them, they would often greet me and ask me for my name and my picture. I am a man, said my viewer, but I've posed as women or men. I've used pictures of people I found on the internet to avoid my pictures being used to scam people. The only time I didn't do that was whenever I messaged them on this platform known as Kik. It does show my face, but I've never sent any other pictures of me. I hope I don't regret that in the future. They will often ask if I have a job, and what I do for a living, and where I live, and who I live with, and if I've ever heard of a sugar daddy. And then they will discuss finances with you. They will often offer to send you some large amount as a weekly allowance, such as $3,000 or $5,000. I've even seen amount as high as $9,000 being offered. And then this is where the scam begins. The scammer will often claim that they were tricked by other sugar babies and promised to be there for them as a companion, but then they wound up blocking them after they got paid, and they requested the victim send them a small amount of money, like $25 to $100, in order to prove that they won't do the same. Alternatively, the scam maybe involve screenshots, supposedly from PayPal or Cash App, saying that the recipient needs to pay a fee in order to receive the money sent to them. Either scammers have also asked for your bank account information or to send you a cheque to deposit into your account. I assume that they ask for your bank account information so that they can either drain your account, and I'm a little bit confused about what my viewer meant here. I think he meant or steal your bank account to put money in your account and then have you forward a portion of the money to a third party, or the fake cheque is used for the same purpose. At this point, I would often ghost them or tell them that I know that it's a scam and goes to them, and they would basically end up with nothing. But there's been times when I decided to mess with them further by using the information I learned about how sugar dating really works. Some people, I've told them that I have rules for sugar relationships, basically like requiring video chats, requiring an in-person meeting within a month, only accepting cash payments when we meet in person, and refusing to send any form of money, including gift cards, and saying that I will not give up any login information for financial accounts or open an account with a specific bank just because they want me to. Sometimes the scammers will ghost me after I say all that. Other times they'll try to go through with their plans anyway, but I resist them at every opportunity. I also at one point tried something that you do all the time. You often ask the scammers to describe their jobs, and they never can, or they resorted to copying and pasting. I asked one scammer to explain his job as an electrical engineer. He wasn't able to give me any information beyond the fact that he works with certain electricity conducting materials, and I kept on pushing him to explain how he does his job, and he eventually blocked me. I'm just laughing writing this down. They've also wanted me to send money to specific mobile app account on platforms such as PayPal or Cash App or Venmo. In the event that they did send me those usernames, I took the step of reporting those accounts. I don't know if that led anywhere. That's all I have for now, but I'll give you more details later. I also have saved some online sources about how sugar daddy scams work. This is basically a hybrid of the 419 scam and the romance scam. And yes, the scammers that I've encountered are from Nigeria or possibly other Western African countries. It's from them that I learned the word lie. I've seen them use grammar that is indicative of Nigerian English, even though they claim to be Americans. I'd like to thank this viewer for their contribution to this channel, covering an app that I'd never heard of, and a scam that we haven't covered on here, the sugar daddy scam. The takeaway from this viewer's contribution, I think, is, as many people often say, just never send money to anyone that you meet online. If anyone's offering you money, and then they ask you to send them money, or if anyone sends you a cheque and asks you to send money to a third party, then you know you're talking to a scammer. I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If you did, you know what to do. Please like it, please share it, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any content that you'd like to submit for inclusion in this channel, please send it to keepsafeonthenet@gmail.com.